This is a thrill for me. Paul Giamatti here on TCM.
Well, it's a thrill for me, sir. Thank you.
We're at the beautiful United Palace Theater in Washington Heights in Upper Manhattan, and this is a palace.
Yeah, it really is.
Palace.
It's kind of amazing work on the ceiling. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
I don't know if they still do movies here, but it would be. They
do.
To see.
Oh, they still. Yeah, they still.
My God, it'd be amazing to see a movie here.
So you're here to program a couple of movies, and you've picked two terrific films. We'll get to them momentarily, but you're a two-time Academy Award nominee. Most recently for the Alexander Payne film The Holdovers, which was wonderful. Earlier, Ron Howard film Cinderella Man, but Sideways, Win-Win. You are one of those actors who, if Paul Giamatti's in the movie, it instantly becomes worth seeing.
Really? That's very nice to hear. Thank you very much.
Do you ever think, I mean, you must realize that and be aware of that.
I don't know. I just feel lucky to have been in a lot of movies that if I happen to see it, I might watch it on TV, not just to look at myself, but to actually watch the movie. There's some good movies, so I'm lucky in that way.
So the first movie you've picked is from 1962, Carnival of Souls.
Correct.
Produced and directed by Herc Harvey.
Herc Harvey.
This movie important to young Paul Giamatti,
Indeed.
Yes?
It is the first movie that truly made a profound impact on me, and I was 4 years old.
So
Four. And
so
I think
it was not a movie for 4-year-olds.
It's really not.
Yeah.
It was formative. I really do think it was formative because it set me off on enjoying these kinds of movies. These sorts of, even though it's not a universal monster movie, it had that feeling to me as a kid. And so I loved all of that kind of stuff.
I mean, it's a horror movie.
It is a horror movie, yeah, but it's an off-the-grid indie horror movie made by two guys who made industrial films.
Which is interesting because George A. Romero, Night of the Living Dead, was making industrial films and commercials.
Yeah.
And Carnival of Souls, huge influence on him.
Totally. And these guys were very skillful. I mean, they knew what they were doing. It's beautifully shot. You know, it's really a beautifully constructed movie. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, made for like 30 grand, maybe a little more than that in the early 60s. Shot in Lawrence, Kansas.
And Salt Lake City.
Yeah. Like there's only one studio scene, really, a scene in a doctor's office. That's the only one.
Oh, is that the only one where
everything
they were on
else,
a set?
Everything else was on location. That's like the
and
only
that's
set.
a really important thing of it. It's very tactile. Where they are is really important.
Like Roger Corman, like so much of this shot, like no permitting. They just went and
total guerrilla style shooting.
You'll see a scene in a department store where the clerk doesn't interact with the lead actress. Herc Harvey apparently just gave her $25. Like, this woman's going to come up to you. Ignore her.
They just busted into the
right.
place. Yeah, they just busted into the place. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, and it has this kind of exploitative, handmade feel that feels really good for that kind of B horror movie.
Yeah. So as a kid, like, how did you react to this? Were you scared?
It scared the crap out of me. But I discovered this strange quality that sort of horror movie aficionados have, is that I liked it. I liked being scared, but it terrified me. And actually, interestingly, the ghoulish guy terrified me, but one of the spookiest things about it, and watching it again, it's such a wonderful effect, is the stuff where nobody can hear her, nobody can see her.
Yeah, really.
And there's that eerie organ note going throughout the thing, and the sound gets very sort of odd. And that actually scared me the most.
Candice Hilligas didn't work a lot, but she's very strong here.
Very.
We won't spoil it. This movie opens with a pretty dramatic moment.
Yeah.
You mentioned that there's a ghoul in it. He shows up again and again and again. Just that is the producer and director Herc Harvey playing that ghoul, and you see clearly early sense of how zombies look and act today.
Yeah, it is a zombie movie, isn't it? It's kind of hard. It's hard to nail down exactly what he is.
It's barely a zombie movie.
Yes.
We don't really know.
But he does have. I mean, you can see the influence on Night of the Living Dead totally. I mean, they look very much like them. Yeah.
Paul, thanks for bringing this movie to TCM. This is a good one. We'll watch it now. Paul and I will be back after the film with much more. Here it is from 1962, starring Candice Hilligas, produced and directed by Herc Harvey, Carnival of Souls. All right, so we're back now. Just dying to, we could in the intro we couldn't barely talk about anything in the movie without giving it away. So you said a moment ago, right before we started, so she's dead, and obviously she's dead now, but was she? I mean, and then we see the car, so she.
She's dead, I think. But what's happened to her exactly? I don't know.
Because those people who the cop and the sheriff and the doctor, they're like, they recognized that was a person.
They do, right.
Right.
They actually see her, right.
Right.
So it's like she's actually been in the world somehow.
been in the world
So
somehow.
it's like in some weird way. So it doesn't, it's
like
very unclear what's going on.
In between.
Yes,
she was
she's
somehow
in between.
In
She's in
between. And I
between.
guess because she's still in the car, it doesn't make any sense. But whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Right, it doesn't matter.
It's just, it's fantastical in a way that really works. What I always wonder is, who is the guy? Like, what is he? Is he death? He's not the devil, although it's suggested he could be. He's not a figment of her imagination, but what is he? We don't know.
I mean, he is clearly calling to her. He's clearly
Yes.
telling her, this is where you belong.
should be here.
Right, dancing with us.
Frankly, the Carnival of Souls looks like it's more fun than the actual real world, which is kind of a nightmare.
Yeah, the real world was
Yeah.
filled with some jackbags. This was not a,
Creeps.
it was not a great place.
No, she's menaced all the time.
Yeah.
You know, the guy who plays the neighbor, though, went on to become a kind of a revered acting teacher. His name was Sidney Berger. And I don't know why he didn't go on to do more, because he's kind of great at playing this skeevy sort of guy that he plays.
Yeah, and the moment that you know how terrified she is when she's begging that guy to stay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You gotta stop him. He's after me again.
I'm getting
I have to go.
Not me, sister. That's just what I need. Get mixed up with some girl who's off her rocker.
I don't want to be left alone.
There's a moment where she's talking to the doctor again, her last scene with the doctor, and you don't see the doctor's face. And I know, I wrote
it's
it down.
fantastic.
I'm like, oh, this is going to be the ghoul,
Of course.
right?
Yes.
But then it turned out to be her dream.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I didn't see that part.
Right.
I
So it's
wasn't-
all these layers of it and things
yeah,
within.
so it's really, and that moment where she says, the doctor, it was in describing one of the two moments where no one can see or hear her.
Yeah.
She's like, it's as if I,
It's as if
I don't
right,
exist.
I don't exist.
and so at times she did exist. She was with that
She
guy.
was actually there. Yeah. So
and
it's,
there's
it's
also
a real world thing happening.
There's a moment where she throws a coin into the pool or some
Yes.
body of water.
Right.
And we see the ghoul underneath, but she doesn't.
Yeah.
So
So
all
it's
these
constantly
decisions.
shifting. No.
Yeah,
It's
and I'm
constantly
curious
shifting.
whether that's
How
all
much is
thought
intentional?
out, and how much are they like, yeah, let's put him under the pool.
But how much
Yeah.
of what's great about this movie is
right.
intentional, and I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
if a lot of it feels accidental, a lot of it feels like happenstance, and it all just fits together into this bizarre package that makes the whole thing work.
Beginning of that first scene where we see Candace Illigas in the car,
Mm.
you know, and my sense was she's supposed to be afraid, like wanting to tell her friend, hey, don't get into a drag race with these
Yes.
buffoons, right?
Right, yeah.
And I didn't see a lot of fear, and I thought, oh, she's not going to be up to this job. But wrong again,
No,
Rob.
she's
She was
fantastic.
great, yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't do much, but I mean, she's still around. Like she did some voiceover work a few years ago.
Meisner trained. She was Meisner and Strasberg trained. So
Yeah,
she was the real deal.
Yeah, and frequently she's got to come up with these moments of terror with nothing to act off,
Nothing,
right?
totally,
Like, you
yeah.
see that and think, that's hard,
That
right?
is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of it's hard. And knowing that they were shooting it fast and on the fly.
Herc Harvey, his crew, he had 5 people on the crew, I
amazing.
think, counting him. So that I imagine the writer John Clifford was around helping. That in the auto body shop where she rushes at the end when she's trying to get out of town as quick as she can, the mechanic who helps and puts the car up, that was the editor.
Sure. They're guys who know how to use what's available to them.
Yeah. Paul, thanks very much.
Yes, sir.
Stay with us. Paul is not done. Coming up, part 2 of his double feature from 1968, directed by Roman Polanski, John Cassavetes. I got to say Mia Farrow first. So Mia Farrow and John Cassavetes in Rosemary's Baby. It's next on TCM. Back with Paul Giamatti. Paul, thanks for being here.
It's a
and
pleasure.
Thanks for being here at
Right.
the really beautiful United Palace
I
Theater.
can't believe I've never been here. This place is extraordinary.
Yeah, in Washington Heights in Upper Manhattan. It is an extraordinary theater.
Yeah, beautifully preserved.
Paul Giamatti, Academy Award nominee for Cinderella Man, directed by Ron Howard, and then more recently Best Actor nominee for The Holdovers. I was rooting for you, for whatever that's worth.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. You didn't put money on me, did you?
I did not. I'm not an
Good.
idiot.
Smart.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Alexander Payne, this is...
I put money on him.
Yeah, I put money on
yeah.
it,
yeah.
You've worked with Alexander Payne twice. Worked
That's
with
right.
him on
Yes, sir.
Sideways and then here again on The Holdovers.
Yes.
This guy knows how to make a film.
He sure does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great American filmmaker. One of the best.
We just watched Carnival of Souls. The movie you have picked here is Rosemary's Baby, produced by William Castle, written and directed by Roman Polanski, Mia Farrow leading the cast. John Cassavetes, obviously you didn't see Rosemary's Baby when it came out, but do you remember the first time you saw it?
I saw it many times. This is interesting. I saw it many, many, many times, but the first time I feel like I truly saw it was shortly after I'd had a child. My son had been born. He was about a month old, and he was a horrible sleeper. And he would wake up, and I would get up to put him to sleep. And one night I got up, and I was, like a zombie, and he fell asleep in my lap. And I turned the TV on, and Rosemary's Baby was on. And I felt like, man, I've never seen this movie quite like the way I'm seeing it now.
Right.
And I thought, yes. I mean, because it wonderfully plays with all the natural anxiety you have about having a kid anyway.
Right.
Let alone then it's going to be Satan's child. But all of that, it plays on that beautifully.
So after we watched Carnival of Souls, we're left wondering, like, what, was the character in Carnival of Souls, the leading lady, was she dead the whole time? Clearly not, because she interacted with
real
people who are alive.
So she was there.
But she was clearly supposed to be dead, and then and I think there's some, you may come out of Rosemary's Baby with some ambiguity, and
for sure.
And I just read this morning that Polanski, because he didn't believe in any of this stuff, right? He's not a religious person. He was like, I want to have an element of ambiguity, uncertainty about what's real and what's
almost
not.
The more it goes on, the less certain you become, until by the end, then it's like, well, clearly something has happened. But you're questioning it. You're going, well, she must be nuts, And so it does it very well. It plays it off really well. Because like I say, it plays with all the natural anxieties you have anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Mia Farrow, who was not particularly famous, in fact, probably most famous at this point for being Frank Sinatra's wife.
Yeah, I guess Peyton Place.
Right, Peyton, but he didn't want her to make this either.
Right.
He didn't want her to stay home and be Mrs. Frank Sinatra.
Yeah. There's something about her that's so vulnerable from the get-go. You're worried about her.
She looks just a little bit helpless.
So fragile.
She's so fragile is a better word. John Cassavetes, the godfather of modern American independent cinema, and a guy revered on TCM and by fans of the Criterion Channel.
Yeah.
Here goes nothing.
Redford was the initial choice
and
to
Nicholson
play this.
too, maybe.
And then
right?
Nicholson, a lot of people considered for it.
Yeah, I think it couldn't ever be anybody but Cassavetes, because he expressed the kind of desperation and creepiness you get off of him almost right away is kind of important.
That desperation is that of a struggling actor in New York, right? Who's on the cusp, maybe, of making it.
Would you have bought those other two guys doing that? I don't think so, quite the same way.
I think
great actors that they both are.
Yeah. Before we see the movie, we have to say the name. Well, Sidney Blackmer plays the neighbor living next door, but mostly his wife, played by Ruth Gordon. Also, again, not the first choice. I think they wanted Alfred Lunt and Lynn Fontaine, a great British couple, to come and play this part, but they end up with Blackmer and Ruth Gordon, and Ruth Gordon is
extraordinary.
Extraordinary.
And the important element of humor in this movie, too.
Totally.
What's in it?
Snips and snails and puppies' dogs' tails.
That's fine, but what if we want a girl?
Do you?
It'd be nice if the first one were a boy.
Well, there you are.
The tone is set perfectly, that balance between humor and horror. I want to mention one other name in this that's actually my favorite thing. One of my favorite things about this movie is the first name you see on screen after the Paramount logo is William Castle, which I think is so great that this is a William Castle movie. A William Castle production is great.
So he got the script to Ira Levin's novel in galley form. It had been snuck to him, and he secured the rights, and he wants to make it, but he's going to need a partner, because every William Castle movie is pretty cheap, and this is a very
he wants to make a real movie out of this.
Right.
Real
and Robert Evans at Paramount's like, I'll do it, I want to buy it, this is great. No way you're directing it. Like this can't be a William Castle movie, but you can produce it.
Yep.
And you're going to get money from it.
Yep.
And
you can be in it. He's in it.
Mia Farrow's making a phone call late in the movie, calling her obstetrician.
Yes.
And you'll see Castle waiting outside the phone booth.
Fantastic.
We should also mention Tony Curtis has a cameo in the movie, and TCM fans will certainly appreciate that as well. All right, let's watch it and discuss more afterwards, because there's plenty to discuss once this movie is done. Here it is from Paramount in 1968. With a cast led by Mia Farrow, also John Cassavetes, and an Oscar-winning performance, Best Supporting Actress, from Ruth Gordon. This is Rosemary's Baby. Back with a two-time Oscar nominee, Emmy winner, a lot of other awards, but really, Paul, one of the finest actors of your generation.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thanks for being here.
A pleasure.
Okay, Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah, great.
So, like Carnival of Souls, your first movie, I don't know how many times I've seen Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah, me neither.
But this was the first time, and maybe it's because I'd seen Carnival of Souls 2 days earlier, where there is some ambiguity here. Like,
there's a fair amount of it.
How much of this is her dream? How much of it, we do see one really significant dream sequence
Yes.
of hers, right?
Yes.
A very effective one.
Yes. But we've seen the other strange dreams she's had, so it could sort of mitigate the fact that that's real or not. You know what I mean? She has other weird sort of moments of half-waking sort of dreams.
And Roman Polanski, who directed the film, also adapted the screenplay from Ivor Levin's novel. He said, "Oh, I intentionally want you to think, well, maybe not, maybe
yeah,
not."
she's lost her mind. in
Right,
some
maybe
way.
not.
Yeah,
And
that
maybe
she's
this whole
losing her
devil
mind.
thing is not the case at all.
Totally. You do feel it, for sure,
Yeah.
until, you know, it becomes pretty clear at the end.
Yeah,
that
I think it's
something's
pretty clear at the end that something.
I don't think she's mistaking
Yeah.
anything by the end.
Yeah. And I want to like John Cassavetes.
Yes, and you feel a kind of strange pity or sympathy for him or something.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's desperate at that point.
He's very
He'd
desperate.
lost the part to this other guy.
Yeah.
And the other guy goes blind. And in case you couldn't see Tony Curtis,
Yeah, you can hear him.
This is Rosemary Woodhouse. Guy Woodhouse's wife.
Oh, yeah.
I want
My
to know.
God. You must be a happy little lady these
I
days,
just-
huh? Living in the brown rows of uniforms.
I wanted to know how you are, if there's been any improvement.
Well, bless your heart.
that's the Tony Curtis cameo on the
For
phone.
years watching this movie, before there was, you know, any kind of internet where you could check, I always thought, who is that? That voice I vaguely recognize, and then now I know that it was Tony Curtis, which it's some of the best phone acting. It's a great phone performance. It's really good.
phone acting. We've been talking about Robert Redford a couple times. I think there is nobody better
At phone acting.
at phone acting.
I
than Robert.
agree.
I mean,
3 Days of the Condor and in All the President's Men.
That's
he
it. Those
does
are the two. Those
fantastic
took the
phone. I
words.
mean,
Yeah.
All the President's Men is one of the great phone acting.
maybe the best phone
Maybe
acting
the best phone acting.
director is.
But he does great phone acting in 3 Days of the Condor, too.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, you're right, though. This is such a great, that conversation.
It is great.
with-
Apparently, she didn't know it was Tony Curtis, and she knew Tony Curtis a little bit, so she was very confused because she vaguely recognized the voice.
so it wasn't, this isn't somebody filling in and then they add his lines.
No,
They spoke.
apparently
yeah.
Roman Polanski deliberately had Tony Curtis do it, and it threw her a little bit in the scene.
Yeah, such an interesting choice to remove the outward evility of the villains here, right? I mean, they are jocular and
yes,
friendly.
it's one of the brilliant things
Yeah.
about the movie. It's very banal. It's an incredibly banal world that he creates beautifully.
Right.
It's one of the things I love about this movie is the world is so completely beautifully imagined. This New York apartment world that is so recognizable. The guy replacing the eye hole, busted tiles on the floor. It's all this sort of incredibly normal world. It's
Yeah.
so ordinary. But actually, there's a thing about Carnival of Souls, too, is the ordinariness of that, too. This kind of Edward Hopper ordinary
Totally, yeah,
gas
that's right.
stations, restaurants, boarding houses, kind of dull,
dull right,
existence.
Right. The movie's not dull, but
No, but
her
the
existence.
worlds are very quotidian. They're not
Yeah.
weird worlds, and
Yeah.
that's very American.
Even her talk back to Carnival of Souls about religion, and she's like, "Oh, I don't believe. This is my job.
Yeah, exactly.
Church is a place of business.
Right.
You know,
This is just my job.
I happen to be a church
And
organist.
she's this just single lady,
Yeah.
kind of out there wandering. That's an interesting thing in these movies too, is the sort of the role of the women. That she's dead, but she's also placing herself outside of every way she's supposed to behave. But Mia Farrow wants to sort of have the kind of middle class life and everything like that. But then once she realizes what's going on, she starts to rebel.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting parallel too.
Yeah. These were great choices, Paul.
Thanks.
Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, my
Great to have
pleasure.
you.
Yeah, nice to be
You've
here.
made a grave error because you're going to get asked back repeatedly.
Great.
All right.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Thank you.
Paul is done for the night, but the movies, of course, continue here on Turner Classic Movies. As always, they are uncut and commercial-free.